Recently, I've caught up to Boruto, and my mind has been racing of different theories that I've thought of during my read-through that I can now start sharing with you guys. So in my first Boruto video, I talked about how I thought Boruto's vision was in the first-person perspective, so it'd actually be him fighting Mitsuki and getting hunted down by the leaf, and it seems like that's actually come true, which you can hear about in my most recent Boruto Chapter 79 spoilers video. But this time, we're taking a step away from the madness of Boruto having his own rogue ninja arc to talk about a character that's been giving me shifty vibes the entire time that I've been reading this manga, and that is Amado. Amado has been lurking in the background working towards his own ends, and in this video we hope to at least try to answer part of the mystery of what he's planning, and of course you can see the title, so let's discuss why I believe that Amado is Shibai Otsutsuki. Firstly, Amado is a scientist who has knowledge of advanced technology and biology that surpasses the rest of the ninja world. He's also displayed an extremely high level of cunning and strategic thinking, given that he's constantly sneaking around even Shikamaru to make situations end up exactly how he wants. Another thing that we know about Amado is that he has a direct connection to the Kara organization, which of course has its ties to the Otsutsuki clan. He was one of the founding members of the organization and played a key role in creating some of its members, as well as working alongside Jigen and Ishiki. Amado reveals to Naruto and Shikamaru that he has knowledge of the Otsutsuki clan's plans and goals, and he also shares the fact that the clan is apparently far more dangerous than Kara. This knowledge could suggest that he has had direct interactions with the Otsutsuki clan, or that he is somehow connected to them, which could definitely just be because of his involvement with Ishiki or Jigen, but how do we know if that's the only involvement that he's had? Now, what do we know about Shibai Otsutsuki? The information that we have on him is actually quite limited, but it's interesting to know how it all comes from Amado himself. In the world of Naruto, Shibai Otsutsuki was a highly revered figure amongst the Otsutsuki clan, and members of that clan were considered gods despite the fact that they're really just aliens, but Shibai was a cut above the rest. Shibai was known to have repeatedly brought himself back to life using karmic resurrection, and what we're told in the manga is that in doing so, he consumed numerous chakra fruits over many years. This ultimately led to Shibai evolving into godhood, and his incredible abilities were recognized as divine miracles according to Amado. But to me it seems like whereas everyone else in Naruto uses jutsu, Shibai is more or less just using magic, like good old-fashioned D&D RPG magic style abilities. And that's an observation that I think I'm going to save later for a whole separate video because that's not really what we're worried about here, so let's keep moving on as he builds this mountain of evidence. Now, one important thing to know about Shibai is that he had a never-ending thirst for power, and he pretty much had a goal that he absolutely had to complete, and he never gave up on that goal even if it meant sacrificing entire worlds in pursuit of that goal. Now, Shibai had a striking appearance as a slim man with long flowing hair that reached all the way down his back, and of course the hair is white because he is an Otsutsuki member. He wore black ripped up robes, and not only did he have upward curving horns on his head, but it seems like he had a Byakugan in one eye and a Rinnegan at the top in the middle of his head, just like Momoshiki and Madara. The key factor about his appearance that I want you to remember though is that he was also seen to have a goatee on his chin. Now, after reaching godhood, Shibai's techniques were known as shinjutsu, and his abilities were considered unparalleled. Shibai possessed an array of impressive abilities, which we've seen implanted into some of Amado's cyborgs. Now, according to Amado, Shibai went through several cycles of evolution and eventually ascended to a higher dimension level. At that time, he's believed to have deliberately discarded his physical body, as confirmed by Momoshiki in a private conversation with Boruto. Now, according to Amado, he later discovered Shibai's remains and transplanted his DNA into certain members of the Kara organization and his other cyborgs to grant them Shibai's shinjutsu abilities. Now, combining everything we know about these two characters, and I'm sorry, this is just kind of how I do my theories, I go over all the information at first, but now let's get to the fun part. How can we reach the conclusion that Amado is Shibai? Firstly, there are some clues in my opinion already that Amado himself is an Otsutsuki, and trying to prove that in and of itself is the first step in trying to claim that he himself is Shibai. We know that Ada's abilities don't work on Otsutsuki clan members. When Ada hopped into the room that Amado and Shikamaru was in the Leaf Village, it's easy to assume that Ada's ability was active on Amado somewhat, but here's why I think this isn't the case. First off, Amado showed no signs of being infatuated with Ada. In fact, his only reaction was that of fear, which could just be something that he's putting on, or he really just might fear Ada for having the power to actually take him down, because we know that the cyborgs are very powerful. We know that Amado was in his right mind enough to mentally communicate with Shikamaru and tell him everything about Ada, so could this be because Ada's ability never affected Amado at all? Also consider the fact that the entire time that Ada and Damon were talking to Amado in that section where they separate from Code, and during the entire train ride and all the moments thereafter, we never ever saw Amado seem to be affected by Ada's ability. He seems to just be totally normal around her, and we even had Ikemoto point out with Ada where she specifically says, "You gave me this ability to enchant the entire human race," as we see on the very page itself, Amado, who's supposed to be a human, not being affected by the ability. So this could be a very cheeky way of letting us know that something's not quite right with Amado, and he might not be a human, because after all, he's not affected by Ada. Given the situation, it provides Ikemoto and Kishimoto with a good opportunity to have Amado be stunned, but have no reason for Ada to question if her ability is working on him, and most importantly, not have us question at all whether or not it's possible that he was just fine with how scared he was acting. To add to this, Amado tells us that the reason he chose cloning as a solution for his daughter was because he was already researching cloning, which just strikes me as really odd, since that's not really an answer for why he was into cloning before his daughter passed away. Now, if Amado is Shibai, or was, then it would make sense why out of everyone on Earth beyond even Orochimaru, Amado was the one that Jigen chose. I speculate that the knowledge and intelligence that Amado has could be the result of him being an Otsutsuki who's been observing and studying Earth for a long time, and him going into cloning could have potentially been to clone his own cells, given that we know that Amado used Shibai cells in his cyborgs. Now, the thing that stands out to me as very odd is that Otsutsuki are the ones who specialize in converting human information into data, but that's exactly what Amado does to his daughter, something that he claims is only in the realm of the gods that he shouldn't have even attempted to venture into. But do you really think Amado was the type to ever give up? I mean, even he himself tells us this isn't really his style. Add to this everything that he knows that he shouldn't, and the fact that Shibai had a goatee, and Amado has a very similar goatee in his flashback, and it starts to look even worse for the shady character. I also found it very odd that Amado himself says that he can't create Shinjutsu abilities because that's in the realm of the gods. But Momoshiki tells us that he doesn't think that Amado transferred Ada's charm to her, so does that mean that he just created it himself? If so, what does that imply? Perhaps things might change now, since it seems like Momoshiki does recognize Ada's rewrite ability, or just at least the fact that it is Shinjutsu by how it affected everyone. But if it is a new Shinjutsu ability, what would that mean about Amado, who potentially created it? And yeah, it's a small point to consider, but a valid one all the same, but Amado also has white hair, which could just be because he's old, but that could be a red herring, and he actually has it because he's actually an Otsutsuki. So in review, we know that Amado has knowledge and technology beyond what is available to normal humans, suggesting he may have Otsutsuki origins. Additionally, he has white hair, which could be a sign of his advanced age, but it could also be a physical characteristic inherited from his Otsutsuki lineage. Furthermore, Amado's research into cloning and ability to transfer human information into data are traits that align with the Otsutsuki's expertise in manipulating genetic material and their affinity for technology. Regarding Ada's charm, it's possible that Amado created it himself, despite claiming that he cannot create abilities because that realm is reserved for the gods. If this is the case, it would suggest that Amado possesses abilities that exceed what is available to regular humans, potentially further supporting the theory that he is an Otsutsuki. Finally, the physical resemblance between Shibai and Amado, specifically their shared goatee, could be a subtle hint towards their connection. After all, this is a series that had Obito keep his hair more or less the same, even though he was supposed to hide his identity under the Toby mask. So taking all of this into account, it's possible that Amado was actually Shibai Otsutsuki, who discarded his original body after ascending to a higher dimension level and transplanted his DNA into other members of Kara to continue his pursuit of power. We were told by Amado himself that there's more to a person than just their physical body and their memories, something that he can't reproduce, but that specific thing could be the part of Shibai that ascended to another realm, leaving behind his body as a husk that took on the personality of Amado, who used his own cells to pass his Shinjutsu abilities onto the other cyborgs that he created in order to stretch his reach even further and make his plans possible. Whether Amado intends to arise to godhood himself, or simply just wishes to watch Kawaki do it somehow, it's clear that Amado has some twisted plans for the world of Boruto, and now with things how they are, he's likely to be enabled as the biggest supporter of Kawaki Uzumaki, the son of the Hokage. Now, despite these clues, it's important to note that there is currently no concrete 100% foolproof evidence to support the theory that Amado is an Otsutsuki, nevertheless that he is the discarded body of Shibai Otsutsuki who's taken on its own personality. It's possible that he could be simply a brilliant scientist with ties to Kara, and his knowledge of the Otsutsuki clan could be a result of his research and intelligence gathering as he worked alongside Jigen and Ishiki. Until there's more information or confirmation from the manga or anime, the theory remains just that: a theory. However, that's been my theory that Amado is in fact Shibai, or he was Shibai's discarded body. Let me know what you think about this theory in the comment section below, and I'm gonna get back in the lab and work on another banger where we'll be discussing the likelihood that Himawari is actually the next Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Love you guys, it's Pineapple. Hope you support the Boruto content moving forward, and I'll see you again later. Let me know what clips I should get for the Boruto intro, and peace.